The legend, the Hall of Famer, Patrick Ewing, and the New York Knicks. They're in the Eastern Conference semis for a third consecutive year. They face the Celtics for the first time in a playoff series since 2013. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, defending champs in the semis, 8th time in 9 years.
Yeah, Jason Tatum got that George Gervin walk. You know,
Smooth Taylor.
Got that George Gervin walk.
It's a doubleheader tonight. 2 MVP finalists
I'm looking forward
going
to this
head-to-head in the Western Conference semis. The Thunder and the Nuggets. That's a 9:30 tip on TNT. Welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. That's the All-Star Steve Smith. That's Wall-Star, also known as John Wall. I'm that other guy, Chris Miles. And the start of the second round between the Knicks and the Celtics. Let's be frank here. Boston dominated New York in the regular season, sweeping the series, winning by 16 points per game. Smitty, so do they just have the obvious upper hand going into this playoff series?
Well, I think what Boston has, in my opinion, they have more two-way players, and they have a lot of length. I think people don't realize the size of the guards of the Boston Celtics. And then you have two wings are 6'8", 6'9", and old Al Horford, give him credit, still able to slide and pick up, when he has to switch on point guards. But he's smart, John.
Yeah.
If he's going to guard John Wall, he's going to give him some space. John's going to hit jump shots. He's not going to let you blow by him. He plays percentages and he plays angles. I love the way Al Horford is still playing at a high level for the Celtics.
You know, when I mentioned that stat about the Celtics and going to the Eastern semis 8 times in 9 years, John, you played against this group when it was first coming together. They've been on a run that entire time. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, you just got to give a lot of credit to the organization. Front office people drafting the right guys, making the right trades, and putting that team together. But your two stars in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they have gotten better over the years, better and better. And when those guys go, everybody else go. But I think the great pickup with Derek White, a lot of people that say underrated, and Drew Holiday. We know Drew Holiday is a true champion, does the little thing to make their team go. And for him to miss the last 3 games against the Magic and get healthy with a hamstring injury, he's going to be ready to ball tonight. But like you said, Al Horford's the guy for me. Come off the bench, make threes, make the right plays, can score in the post, and he does all the little things.
Certainly the Celtics have the upper hand, but it's not something the Knicks haven't heard so far. Here's Karl Anthony Towns and his response to everyone saying the Celtics have that upper hand.
They're defending champions for a reason. They found a formula that works for them, and it's worked against the whole entire league and got them a chip. So we just got to go out there, execute, and stay disciplined. If we execute at the level I know we can and play basketball that I know we can, we give ourselves a chance every night.
It's us who have more to lose, because we're supposed to win. They're dangerous, and they're going in as the underdog, and they have whole New York behind them, and they have the capability. It's us that have to be on our A game, have that same hunger we had last year. We're not defending what we did last year. We're trying to win another championship.
Just all the history between, Boston and New York. Is excellent to be able to live or to relive in that. It's our job to come out and put on a great performance and take care of business. Boston versus New York, it don't get too much better than that.
Can't be doing that game.
All right, so here we go. Looking over the regular season series, like I said, Tatum and Brown giving you about 60 points between those two. And this is historic. It's the second most frequent playoff matchup in NBA history. Philly-Boston, number 1, 16th time they're meeting, but again, the first time since 2013. And when I see Kristaps Porzingis in that soundbite, of course, the New York Knicks drafted him. Johnny averaged 24 points per game against the Knicks in the regular season. What is it about Kristaps in particular that is such an advantage over New York when they face each other?
Well, I think with them, they got a stretch 5, but he posts up at the free throw line. Like, he takes advantage when a small guy switch on him. He's not a guy just going to stay on the perimeter and shoot threes. He goes to the mid-post. He can make plays there, but he pick and pop. He rolls to the basket and catch lobs. So he does everything you need for a center, especially in the new days NBA, because you have the stretch 5 that can score on the post, shoot the 3, and make plays.
Yeah, for the Knicks, it begins, ends, revolves around the clutch player of the year, Smitty. Jalen Brunson was able to get his, if you will, against the Celtics in the regular season, 27 points a game against Boston. But why didn't that lead to wins for New York?
Well, it's hard. I mean, they make him work, and obviously you need a second and a third guy against the Boston Celtics. To me, OG Anunoby is going to have to be one of the best two-way players in this series. He's going to have to guard everybody, and he's going to also be able to have to go out there and take advantage and not just score. I love guys that score, but I love guys that can draw too. he's going to have to get somebody in foul trouble or draw two because they're going to need a second guy. Karl Anthony Towns for sure, but I think OG Anunoby is going to have to be the guy that's most important because he's going to be guarding Tatum, Brown, and sometimes Al and Porzingis.
You know, we saw the points per game for Jalen Brunson in the first round, almost 34, 12 points per game in the fourth quarter in that series. But, John, there was some flack for Brunson about flopping, trying to draw fouls. What do you make of kind of that backlash on the style of play that he has and what it means for the Knicks in a playoff series against two defensive guards like this in the Celtics?
Well, they're going to be physical. They got multiple. One thing with the Celtics, all five guys can guard. They can switch. They can make things happen. But, I mean, he mastered how to draw fouls. You can't be mad at him. He's a small guard. He's crafty, got great footwork. But he uses his pump fakes very well. But he does a great job of playing off 2 feet. And he does a great job of, like you said, he knows how to draw fouls. And you can't be mad at that. Sometimes he can be flopping. Sometimes it shouldn't be a foul. It should be offensive. But he know how to get the call to go his ways. He don't complain to the refs. He keep playing basketball and keep it moving.
You know, there are two different macro issues about the Knicks in this particular series, but let's go to the way that they were put together, right? Because as this team was formed, it was to face the Boston Celtics in the playoff series with OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges coming in to try to defend Tatum and Brown. What do you make of those two guys really not being able to get the job done in the regular season with Tatum having his way at 34 points per game and 7 assists a game?
Well, Tatum's going to have his way against anybody. He's 16. That can do everything. Like you look at the Knicks' most attentive team, they got their point guard that runs this show, does everything for them. You go back to when they had Derrick Rose with the Bulls and you had Luol Deng and Keith Bogan, those guys. Those are the defensive stoppers to do the little things that make it work. It's just that Celtics, they're so complete, man. They know they've been in every situation, every tough game, game 7. They know their identity, they know how they want to play. But the main thing for me, they all can make plays off the dribble. They're not just guys that can shoot the three. They can make plays. So Porzingis is probably going to guard Josh Hart, so he can be the help side guy and put Jason Tatum on Cat. So they running that pick and roll with him and Jalen Brunson. You just switch it. And you have Porzingis roaming around there to block shots. So OG and Mikal has to have big games on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively.
I mean, Smitty, you know what it's like to face a guy in an era where people are like, oh, that guy is unstoppable, right?
Talking about Jordan?
There you go. What's your mindset going into a series like that? Because Jason Tatum, defending champ, and a guy who's able to have his way against the Knicks.
Well, you know, first of all, those type of guys, it's hard to guard one-on-one. You know, I leaned on Mookie Blaylock. I leaned on pushing him to Dikembe. But more importantly for me, it was what I did on the other end, John. You know, I wasn't going to outscore Michael, but I wanted to beat him up on the block. I wanted to make him work. I mean, there was times where we ran plays. I would come off 4 or 5 screens, catch it, John. Wasn't going to shoot it at all and throw it and run back around again. Just wanted to make him work. And I think this is a matchup where if he's going to guard Karl Anthony Towns, John is totally right. There's no way he shouldn't get beat up. Karl Anthony Towns should say, bring it to me, make them double. I'm going to get y'all shots because there's no way I'm going to allow Jason Tatum to guard me one-on-one on the block.
Yeah, the Knicks have not found that winning formula against 60-win teams this season. 0-10. Let's see if they can find it here in the second round of the playoffs. Out west, we got 2 MVP finalists going head-to-head. Thunder Nuggets split the season series 2-2. Let's hear from those two teams.
This is a memorable series. We just don't really have time right now to remember it. And I had a really good friend the other day make me feel awful. I said, yeah, if we win this series, man, we got to play a team that's 68-14. And he said, no, man, they're 72-14. I said, okay, that's right. Appreciate that, bro. But, you know, you got to be confident going into it.
That's like home for me. I always got love for everybody there, the people, the fans, and I know it's mutual. But they also know the reason why they do love me because I compete at a high level. I don't know what I shot for the series, but somebody has to tell me. How much? Damn, that's solid.
We're going to be very rested and recovered and healthy, and they'll have played high leverage games all week while we've been practicing. There's obviously trade-offs to both, but that's just what it is. You know, we're just trying to maximize our situation.
Getting a little antsy right now, waiting for that next game.
Yeah, absolutely. You want a break, but not too long of a break. But, yeah, we don't play with games, so if we can get a team out of here in 4, we get them out of here in 4.
Smitty, let's start with the MVP candidates, okay? Because Nikola Jokic, for the third time in his career, he averaged a triple-double in a playoff series. The only player in NBA history to do that. And he's going against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They've been waiting for this for 9 days, resting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what can you say about this guy? I mean, look at the Game 7. He does not have to be your top scorer to win a basketball game. 16 points, you would have been saying, hey, what's wrong with Joker? But he going to get you 50 points on passing and rebound and steals, knows how to play. He's going to get you in foul trouble. I mean, it's going to be a matchup for Hartenstein. I mean, him and Chet Holmgren, it's going to be tough. He's going to get his. I just want to see the matchup and the mindset of the coaching staff of OKC. Are they going to double? Are they going to play him with a single guy? I mean, this is what I'm looking at. You can't stop him. But I think the real situation is going to be Jamal Murray, how he handles Dort, Caruso, Williams, Shea. They're going to throw the kitchen
Casey
sink
Wallace. I mean, there's so a lot of defenders they have there.
And I love him because you know what? He comes through when you need him.
Yeah, we've seen it for years now. Champion in 2023, and certainly had some standout games in that first-round series, including 43, one of those decisive games. But, John, when I look at the stats for OKC, dominant all season, only 5 teams were able to go into Oklahoma City and get a win. One of those teams, the Denver Nuggets. How much of an advantage is it for Denver mentally to know, like, okay, we can go in there and steal one of these first 2 games?
Well, yeah, they know they can win there. I mean, and then you also got Jokic. You know what I mean, a guy that's the best player in the league, if you want to call it. Some people say the second best. But when you have that guy on your team, you go in there comfortable no matter what. He's basically the second coach out there on the floor. He dictates whatever he wants. And like Steve said, you got to see what they're going to do. Are they going to double team him or are they going to let him go get 50? But Jamal Murray has to be big. But I think Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon is the key for that team to go. You know what I mean? They did a great job of, do you want to keep KCP or keep Christian Braun at the time? And they kept Christian Braun. It's paying off. A guy that won a championship with Kansas and playing the right way, making plays on both ends of the floor, shooting the 3. But if Aaron Gordon can stay healthy with the calf injury he's dealing with, I think they got a great chance to win the series.
Now, the identity for the Thunder, defense. Second in the NBA in blocks, first in steals. Smitty, we heard Chet Holmgren say early in the season, teams see ghosts when we're out there. Even when we're not there, people are afraid. Can you break down what makes them so effective?
What I love with them is, I did a game and watching them, the communications, John and Chris, they talk. I mean, it's a lot of chatter. Talking to Coach Dagnall, he says, Smitty, everybody talks about all these one stat. The one stat I love the best is we're number 1 in taking charges. People don't want to do that anymore. As you can see right here, getting over the screen. And Jalen Williams is also an underrated defender with his size and can play. You see, they're interchangeable on defense. They can guard. Here's Caruso. This is Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah, it's a mismatch, but I'm going to make you work until you get to the paint. And now here's the communication. Most teams, once a guy come over, they understand where they're going, a lot of talking, and they are just pesty. They keep their hands active. And then once they get the ball and steal, they get out and they go and they convert defense to offense very quick. I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because the reason why he throws it ahead. This is all effort to me, John. Guy sits down.
Get up.
And get back up. His feet and hands touch ground. That's when I know John Moran said there's no way he can recover, but that's the extra effort Dort gives you, Caruso gives you. Once again, Chris Miles, it's like you when we be playing on Saturdays,
He's playing twist over there.
I love the way they communicate, and I just love the way it's about everybody has to guard. And when I love the best, John, when they had Chet out and Hartenstein, Jalen Williams
went to the 5.
He went to the 5, and usually young guys will be complaining. He had no complaints, and Shea went to the 4. I was impressed with that little stretch run when those guys had to do that.
Yeah, they had a starting lineup with no one over 6'6" and maintained in 1 games during that time period. Absolutely incredible. What Coach Dagnall and the Thunder were able to do first out west in back-to-back years. Here's the Bodega Cat, the New York Knicks, opening up their second-round playoff series against the Celtics. We got a live report coming next. Knicks, Celtics, game 1 tipping off at the top of the hour. Of course, the New York Knicks drafted Kristaps Porzingis. He's been torching them all season. Allie LaForce, she will be on the sidelines of tonight's game. Allie, good to see you. What you got for us?
Great to be with you. This is exciting times. Well, we knew this matchup was predictable. We saw it coming from a mile away. But will the results be predictable is the question. Boston's the team to beat. We all know that. And they are fully healthy. You'll be glad to hear Drew Holiday. We got word today that he will be suiting up, and he's also not on a minutes restriction. He had a right hamstring strain, missed 3 games of the first round. but he's good to go. Did everything he needed to in practice Saturday. Jaylen Brown, also closer to full strength with the knee injury, said he's trending in the right direction. Keep in mind, Boston has had nearly a week off. They didn't practice yesterday, and they didn't shoot around today. They're confident Joe Mazzulla has them ready, and in his mind, he's also making sure they're prepared for the worst. He said this series is 0-0, and it comes down to executing the simple details over and over again with a high level of attention. He said there's no way one series is supposed to go. History will tell you that. We have to do whatever it takes to win for however long it takes to win. Jaylen Brown added, you prepare your mind, you lean on the guys with playoff experience, but when you look at this series, playing in New York City, in the Garden, that's something you have to mentally prepare for in and of itself. We can't get caught up in the emotions of the game or get too excited because of the energy that's in the room. This will be a big stage, big moments, big plays. We have to stay poised. As for the Knicks, they have yet to prove that they can beat a quality team. They are 1-11 against the top 4 teams in the East. Think about that, including 0-4 against Boston. But this is the most chemistry. This is the most reps they've had all season. They were missing core players on and off all season. They have the toughness, but so does the Celtics. And do they have the depth, the level of talent, and the consistency that the Celtics have proven all season? That will be what determines this series. And it's interesting, talking to Tibbs, talking to Coach Mazzulla, they both are saying the same things. Hey, listen, you can do the X's and O's and the chess game all you want, but if you don't rebound, if you turn the ball over, if you don't win the possessions battle, you kick yourself in the foot. So it is about the things that you can't control, but both teams are very aware that those things are critical. So we'll see who pays the most attention to it.
All right, thanks, Allie, for that live report. Smitty, I think about what she said about the Celtics' health, having almost a week off. We know coming into the playoffs, a lot was made about Jaylen Brown and that knee. He talked about, trying to get it right. But Drew Holiday and what he brings, the two-time champion, to the table, having to try to guard Jalen Brunson in the backcourt, to have Derek White and Drew Holiday at full strength, seems like a lot for the Knicks.
Well, it is. I mean, it gives Mazzulla a lot of different chess pieces. And I know people will say a little shocked at this, John, you not, but Drew Holiday will be guarding Karl Anthony Towns at times.
I was just going to say that.
Which is unbelievable for me, a point guard to go out there. And sometimes with no help, he's that valuable. And he just understands he's a winner. But him and Derek White, the combination of two guys, I just think their size and their switchability, not on 1, 2s, and 3s, but to pick up some 4s and 5s at times is unbelievable.
Yeah, John, tell us, the difference between when you have the size advantage against a guard, right, because you're a bigger point guard, and then when you meet someone your size like Derek White or Drew Holiday, how that makes things different for you.
Well, it makes it difficult because they're athletic, but Derek White, he blocks shots very well. Drew Holiday's good with using his hands, getting basketballs, getting steals and things like that. But those guys, like Steve said, you can go out there and switch them on the point guard. They can pick up 94 feet. They don't mind switching on the bigs if they get set on the screen. They can fight in the post. They're not scared to rebound. They do the little things, and they don't give up on plays. So when you have those guys at 6'3", 6'4", they can move well defensively like that and also is athletic, it helps their team out.
5-time champion, Hall of Fame head coach Gregg Popovich announced that he is officially retiring. Mitch Johnson named his successor. Today, Coach Pop addressed the media.
I want to make sure everybody understands what the new job is. I'm no longer a coach. I'm El Jefe.
76 years young, Coach Pop. Smitty, you won a championship with him in 2003. What goes through your mind when you see that presser?
Just happy to see him getting a chance to be back in his element. He loves the game, and obviously I know he wanted to coach Wemby further on than the first year, but happy for Pop. He's moving up. He still has an unbelievable basketball mind. He's still going to have his imprint all around that San Antonio Spurs organization. Love to see him back because the game of basketball is going to give him some more energy, and I think it's going to be fantastic for that organization and him individually. He can't live without the game of basketball.
John, you played against Coach Pop teams. What stood out to you when you played against them?
Everything. Just him. You could just tell the pedigree, what he instilled in that organization, what he instilled into his players. Is always the utmost respect. That opportunity when I was doing the USA Select, being around him, just talking to him and understanding the knowledge of the game that he has. It's great to see him back. I know he wish he could still be coaching, but like Steve said, I think he's going to get that excitement back, being back in that front office, being around the players, being around the team. But everybody know what Pop means to the game of basketball, just his knowledge, what he gives, and he has so many great talents and so many great players. It's great to see him back around, and that we all get to see him in the league still.
Great talent. What he means to the game of basketball reminds me of this guy, Steph Curry, and the Golden State Warriors advance to a second round, the Game 7. You're watching Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. Warriors-Wolves, Game 1 Tuesday on TNT. 6th seed versus the 7th seed. You could throw that right out. Look at that picture of Ant-Man and Steph, Smitty, and that's really the gist of this series. Anthony Edwards, the Giant Slayer in the last 2 postseason runs. Now he gets the chance to go head-to-head with a guy that he said he learned a lot from in the Olympics last year.
He did. I mean, I saw them when I was over in Abu Dhabi watching him. You know, it's a 23-year-old going up against some of the greats. I mean, he talks about, I knocked off Durant, I knocked off Jokic, I knocked off Luka, LeBron, and now he gets to Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. He is not afraid. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a situation. Who guards him? That's what I want to know, John.
I don't know. Because I'm like, you put Buddy Hield on Jalen Green last series. I'm like, do you put him on Ant-Man? And that's a different beast. And the way he's playing right now. And also, I just like the way Julius Randle's playing. He's playing great basketball for them right now, making plays. But I feel like they bench with Naz Reid and DiVincenzo. Those 2 guys make their team go.
What about Rudy Gobert in the middle? Was great against the Lakers in that series, and against the Golden State Warriors, they struggled with size against the Rockets. Going to be an interesting one. Another great second-round series. But first, the Knicks and the Celtics on TNT tonight. Remember, followed by the Thunder and the Nuggets. A great night of basketball. We'll see you after the action for Playoff Central Live.